class, Prof JC, and welcome to our final class, a final week. And I know all of us are very excited to get into the holiday season, the Christmas season, and I hope it's a wonderful holiday season for you. However you're celebrating it, whoever you celebrate with, I hope that you are surrounded by people who care about you and people that you care about. That's really important. But this has been a great semester with all of you, and let's just finish it strong. Okay, that's really important that we finish this strong. Hey, there's this idea of self-reliance, and this is the final podcast. And I thought if there's anything that I could talk to you about today, I think this is one of the key components for great leadership. And it is to be a person who is self-reliant, to not be a person who's needy for the approval of other people. That's hard to do in today's world, in today's society, but it's really important as leaders that we are people of self-reliance. I'm just going to read just a couple of things here for you. I'll try to make this as short as possible. Chapter 5, Self-Reliance, again from this book. Hope you keep this book, The Happiness of Pursuit. The most courageous act is to think for yourself aloud. That means to do, right? Not just think, but actually do the things that you think of. Here's the lesson from the chapter. Not everyone needs to believe in your dream, but you do. And then the first two sentences or two questions, two great questions for us. What does it mean to do something for yourself? To choose self-reliance or independence? To face down a fear and overcome a challenge? So what does all that mean? And then it has some headers in here. And a couple of these are important. It's important that we grow in this idea of self-reliance, which just means relying on ourselves, not seeking the approval of other people, not doing things because we're trying to get mom and dad's approval still, not doing things because we're trying to get our community's approval. We know who we are and we follow that. We know what our purpose is and we follow that purpose. Okay, which means at times we're going to have to embrace rejection. If you are not a self-reliant person, you will not be able to face rejection. But let me tell you this, the path to greatness, the path that I want for every single one of you, the path I want for all of us is a path to greatness, which means you're going to have to experience rejection at some point in your life. I will tell you one of the greatest years of my life was when I transitioned from my former career. And I knew that this is what I wanted to do, to teach leadership, to speak about leadership, to give my entire life to leadership. And so I had to go through 18 months of absolute hell. It's no joke. Now, these were some of the best 18 months of my life in retrospect, looking back on it, but they were the hardest, most difficult times in my life. And actually, that was probably the time when I really understood self-reliance, because it was just rejection after rejection after rejection after rejection. And I think I had to face that. That's what the journey was for me to get to where I needed to go. The life that you really want is going to mean you're going to have rejection. It could mean that there's a certain, for some of you who might be younger in the call, or it doesn't matter what age you are in the call. Maybe you're in a season of singleness, but you want to be in a relationship with someone. You're going to have to kiss a lot of frogs to get there. Okay. And that means you're going to have to be self-reliant, because when you become too needy, you fall into relationships with the wrong people. And if you've been a person out there who's done that, you know what I'm talking about. I've been there before. And it comes because I'm not self-reliant. So I'm not able to say no to that relationship. So that's what it is. All of us have to be in a position of self-reliance, because we're able to, then we're able to pause and attract the right people into our lives. And we're able to take rejection, and we're able to reject even hopefully kindly and with compassion. We're able to reject other people or opportunities. I was listening to a great interview just today, actually, with Bob Costas, the famous sports announcer, sports interviewer, and he talked about being offered an 8-figure salary from one of the major networks to do a show, and he turned it down because he didn't want to get up every day at 4:00 in the morning. He knew himself. He wasn't needy for the approval of this major network that was going to pay him $20 million. He said, no, that's not a good deal. It won't be a good deal for you, and it's not a good deal for me. That's what self-reliance is. He was able to reject that offer because he understood who he was. That's the importance of self-reliance, knowing who I am and being able to turn down things that wouldn't be good for me or good for the other people. If I didn't do it, what I always wonder, that's a question we have to ask about. And then this last one I think is really important. Life is risky. And one of the things I have found in life is that the great life that you are pursuing, that I want you to pursue, is going to be a life that's going to have a lot of risk. And if you don't understand that, and you don't take that to heart, and you don't grasp that idea of risk, I promise you, you're going to stay stuck in a comfortable life that at some point you're going to look at and say, how did I end up here? How did I not go after the full dreams that I wanted? And a lot of it came back to because you weren't a self-reliant person. You cared more about the opinions of other people. You cared more about comfort. And again, sometimes we have to. If you're out there and you've got a partner and you've got kids, we can't go running off and jumping off and doing all these risky things. We have to be careful with that. But at the same time, we have to understand that there's an element of risk in life, even within a family situation. And if we as a family are going to move to the direction we want to, we've got to make sure that we understand this and that we are relying on ourselves. So when I talk about this idea of self-reliance, it's not forsaking everyone else and not listening and not understanding community. All that stuff's important, but it's really important at the core, okay? Whether or not you want to believe this or not, but at the core, life is lonely. And some of you don't want to hear that, but some of you understand that. If you've lived for a little while, you understand that, you get that. Yes, we can have family. Yes, we can have friends and communities and stuff. But at the core of it, every single day when we get up to do the work that we need to do, there's an element of loneliness too, which is why we have communities. It's why we put ourselves in places to have communities and relationships and that kind of stuff. But if we rely too much on the approval of other people, we miss out on what's so important, that idea of self-reliance, that I can do this on my own. I've got this. Hey, and that's really important for purpose. So your final assignment is simply this. Are there 3 ways that you can become self-reliant, more self-reliant than where you are in life? Just 3 things that you can look at in your life and say, you know what, I can do a little bit better in terms of self-reliance. 3 ways that you can be a little bit better in self-reliance. This has been an amazing class with you. Thanks so much for your work, for your dedication. I want to wish every single one of you all good things, a happy holiday season. I want everything good for you. And I hope that this season is for that and the many seasons that come beyond. Thanks so much for everything, class. And I'll see you here, there, or on the other side. Take care, everybody.